Hello, it's James, the creative director from Reach the Core here, doing some creativity today, making or really finishing some spears. So we use these for our spear and axe throwing activity at events, and occasionally we'll use them for education in schools. And this is basically creating a spear with cheap materials in a much cheaper way than buying spear heads off the shelf or off the internet. So the wood is simply offcuts from a local wood yard. This happens to be oak that I managed to get a huge amount of, and this is tapered down into size using the planer, electric planer, so taken down into the diameter that I want, and then the edge is tapered to create this this sort of pointed bit here which the socket of the spearhead will go on to. What I decided to do, I needed something with a socket on, and what I end up with is a lawn edging blade. Just a replacement. If you have a lawn edger, you'd buy one of these to replace and put back on your shaft. And taking an angle grinder, cut out of there so that the blade comes away and the socket is still there with a leaf-shaped head. And then what happens from this is all this finish, this grey finish, is going to be taken off and then slightly ground down to create a bit of a blade and a little bit of a tip depending on what we want. I tend to end up with these not being sharp at all so that they're not dangerous, but they're enough to penetrate a target. So I'm just going to do this quick time lapse with the angle grinder and take this down back to the bare metal. So that sort of anti-corrosion coating is taken off, and it's down to a fairly steel look all the way around. Little bits in the middle need to be done with a file, but essentially it's a little bit rough. I'll take it to the sander to take the edges off, and that is a pretty strong spearhead. All we'll do is drill into the shaft, put rivet or a nail in there to secure it to the shaft, maybe a little bit of glue, treat this with a bit of oil, and that's the spear finished.
And I could be wrong about anybody else, so don't kid yourself, kid yourself. It's you right there in the mirror. You don't wanna hurt yourself, hurt yourself.